Oops. So, well, hopefully we're good. All right. Good morning. My laptop and the camera are not totally aligned, so if I'm sometimes not looking at the camera, I apologize. But this is the new basement setup. Oh, I have my mic set up. So again, hopefully this works. I'm going to try to keep my eye on it to make sure that maybe batteries don't die or things like that. It's all charged up, but I am super excited to be in this space today. Today, we're going to be using a little bit more equipment than we have been using. I'm going to be using a longer band for a bunch of movements today. So if you have that, fantastic. I'm also going to be using this short band, loop band for a couple of things. So if you have one of those, great. All of the movement though can be done with or without the band. And we'll use then our typical, our ball, our block, our bolsters, and that kind of thing. I'm so excited because I have a wall on either side, so I'll be able to show angles a little bit better, hopefully. And yay, we'll go from there. All right, so let's come. Oops, I'm gonna grab this. I'm excited to listen to this audio back to make sure that it's not too echoey. It is a little echoey here on my side, but we'll see and we'll learn. Maybe I'll get some more fluffy things to stop if it's super echoey. So let's start laying on our backs. I'm going to bring this down to the floor with me. And at the end of class, the 5A class, we were really experimenting with, at the end, with a little bit of neck inhibition. It's actually where I want to start today. And so for this, for a warm-up, we can use a blanket under our head and shoulders, or you can just be laying flat on the ground. And so I'm just using a little blanket under my head just because I do have a bit of a tendency for that forward head. So this just makes it so it's not quite so far down to go. So what we're going to do here is let's rest one hand on our chest and one hand on our abdomen. We're going to just take a nice breath of air in through our nose. And as we blow out, we want to think about our body having 3 snowballs. So the bottom snowball is our pelvis, the middle snowball is our rib cage, and the top snowball is our head. So when we blow out, our top snowball is going to go back. Our middle snowball is going to go down, and our bottom snowball is going to roll back. We're going to hold our exhale as long as we can. Then relax everything, relax our snowballs. Breathe in. So we're going to try to get a rhythm of getting these 3 snowballs, or sometimes I think of them as gears, working together. So head, rib cage, pelvis. Breathe in. Tilt, tilt, tilt. So head goes back, ribs come down, pelvis rolls back. Maybe we make a little underbite and a little stretch to the front of that neck. Relax, breathe in. Rocking, pelvis, head are going back, ribs are coming down. When we come up, we're not cranking up, we're just letting off some of the work there. Good. And then take a little rest. What we're going to do here next is we're going to reach both of those arms to the ceiling. And so the reason for the bands and the reason for coming back into laying on our back to start. Hold on one second. I thought I got a little notification here. One moment. Oh. Okay, never mind. All good. Sorry. is that we want to work on this idea of elongating, but still keeping control of our abdominals. So we've been doing a lot of like that rounded position, that cat position. And sometimes that's a little confusing for people of like, is this good posture? Is this bad posture? But the way we then progress out of that into a more upright posture is via one, elongating up through our rib cage, but still being able to connect with our abdominals when we do it. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to reach to the ceiling. And I want you to imagine someone's pulling your shoulder blades. So we don't want to keep those shoulder blades glued to the floor. We want to feel like they're reaching around. Good. Keep reaching. And you're going to breathe in and float those arms up a little bit over your head. And then exhale. Exhale the ribs down. And then we're going to inhale again, reach a little more up. But see how when the arms go up, the back is not lifting off. So I could get my arms very easily over my head, but can you see how that makes a big arch under the low back? So we're going to bring those arms back. And we're just going to see how far we can go. And still keep control. Not be clenchy in our butts. For me, it's about right there where I start to feel like I want to arch. Good, and then just breathing there a little bit. Good, and then we'll come back to the beginning. Sometimes it helps to hold on to something. So a stick or a broom handle can be really helpful for this. Also, sometimes just your band folded, which is what I'm going to do here. So same exercise. We're going to exhale, press through our feet, reach our hands to the ceiling. Then we're going to inhale, float those arms up, exhale the ribs down, and then inhale, float the arms up, exhale the ribs down. Arms are still reaching toward the ceiling. Moving in up on the inhale, exhale, exhale. Good. You might find that blowing out is difficult. That's where you could try your shh or your counting 1, 2, 3, and see if that helps you feel a little more connected to those abdominals there. Good. Okay. Good. So we're going to come back to the beginning, and we're going to take your left hand, and your left hand is going to come down by your hip. So now we're going to grab our long band. Left hand is going to go down by your hip. With your left hand down by your hip, I want you to think about you're almost kind of reaching your hand to your heel, even though you're staying centered, and your weight is going to be heavy over that left side of your body. Then your right hand is going to have the band, and you're going to come up on a diagonal and turn your thumb toward the floor. So what we're going to do here as we breathe is we're going to breathe in and feel this right side open up. And we might feel the muscles on the back of our shoulder blade on the right working. It might not be a ton, but some. And then we're going to feel those left abdominals working a little bit because they are preventing us from flaring up as we take those arms overhead. Okay, so we're going to come up on a diagonal and turn that thumb down. Feel that breath come into that right side. Exhale the left side down. Maybe feeling the muscles on the back of the shoulder blade. Breathe in again. Our scapular muscles, our shoulder blade muscles are so important. We've been increasing how much our legs have been doing and the demand and the load that they can take. But we don't want to forget about these muscles and the role that our lower traps play, our rib cage plays in us being able to manage pressure in our body. Good. Let's take a little break and let's do that one more time. Left hand is reaching toward the ground. Right hand is reaching toward the ceiling. Maybe we do a little punch with that right arm first. Now we're going to come up on a diagonal. Good. Feeling how the air moves through your rib cage. Sometimes that feels a little woo-woo, but it feels really good when you can kind of visualize that right side expanding and the left side closing. Feel the armpit fill up. Good. Nice job. Okay. From here, what we're going to do next is we're going to hold the band in our left hand and right hand. Left hand is going to come to the floor. I'm going to lower my, oh, that doesn't really help. You're going to come to the floor and rest it palm facing down. And then your right hand is going to be on the floor, palm facing in. Okay, so the left hand is your anchor, your right hand is palm. And if you have a strap, you can hold on to it. I'm going to just loop it around my hand here a little bit. This doesn't need to be very heavy tension. Light tension is great. But we're going to go from here and we're going to try to straighten out that right elbow against the band. So we're trying to come to a T, keeping that palm facing in. And we're going to breathe. Keeping activation in the shoulder blades, but still breathing through our chest. You should start to feel the muscles of the back of that right shoulder blade and the back of that right tricep. Through the back of the arm here. Good, and then take a little break. Just like we focused on some of the little muscles around our pelvis, again, these little muscles around our shoulder blade are really important. Okay, we're going to loop around. We're going to have left hand palm down, right hand palm in. We are doing these asymmetrically. Good. The left and right side of our rib cage is different regardless of your handedness. Our heart pivots over to the left side. Our right side has 3 lobes of lung. And so, no matter what, doing asymmetrical work in our upper body is really important. Okay, beautiful. Let's roll out of here and we're going to come into all fours. If it feels best for you, you could absolutely put the block underneath your left knee. Okay, I might do that. It feels good for my pelvis to do that. So what we're going to do here, oops, I'm going to come back in, is we're going to loop our long band around our rib cage. If we don't have a long band, it's okay. We'll just come into all fours like we've been doing. But from here, what we're going to do is think about pressing through the hands and feeling the resistance of the band. The band isn't right between shoulder blades. The band's kind of where that back maybe would naturally dip in like a cow position. So we're going to think about, can we push our band back? And does that help us find connection with our abs? And then we're going to shift our weight nose over fingertips. And then we're going to breathe here. Let's do 2 more breaths. Soft elbows. Trying not to lock out those elbows. Good. Sometimes that's some nice feedback for those ribs, especially if you've maybe been struggling in that all 4 position to feel the things that we want to feel. Okay, Good. We're going to press down again. So find where your back, the small likes to dip. We're going to place the ribs there. And so then what we can see when we show that is that it's not a pelvic tilt, like just clenching here and kind of keeping this flat. It's really about those ribs coming back. And the thing that helps those ribs come back is actually our scapular muscles, our shoulder blade muscles, as they push the floor away. And then our pelvis just kind of naturally falls under. So from here, we're going to then breathe in and out for 4. If I'm going to do a heavy sort of upper body workout day, these would all be things that I would do beforehand to make sure that I'm moving air in my rib cage well. Good. Nice job. All right. So then from here, we are going to come up into standing. And so we're going to use our band. I'm going to raise this up a little bit. Good. Maybe rotate it over here. Make sure you can see me. But we're going to, oh no, I need to go up even higher. Taller than I thought. Hopefully that's good. Yeah. We are going to go with our back up against the wall. Okay, we can use our block in between our knees. And this is something that when we previously did this on the wall, it was difficult to show because I can't always show you sort of that angle of my back on the wall. But what we're going to do here is we're going to use our band, if you have it, in that same spot that we just used it in all fours. And we're going to try to find that band into the wall. Good. And then we're going to reach out against the band, pressing our knees into the block. We're breathing into that back body. And as we exhale, we're pressing out, pressing into the blocker ball. Good. Head is up. This workout is definitely self-serving for me because I've been feeling a little extra pelvic floor tension the last few days. And so getting some of this upper body strength muscle work going is super helpful for me too. So it's selfish. Okay. Now what we're going to work on the wall is we're going to work on what we felt when we were reaching and feeling that back open. But we're now going to try to take our arms up over our head. Okay, so our arms are reaching forward, back is on the wall. Now when we breathe in, we're going to try to float our arms up. And then exhale, ribs down. So now our arms are coming up over our head. We're straightening up our body, but we're trying not to ping those ribs up to the ceiling. Good. And we can feel how those shoulder blade muscles have to work hard to make that happen. Abs have to work hard to make that happen. Good. And then relaxing down. If it helps, you could grab your band. So we're finding our back on the wall. Ribs are down. We're reaching forward. We're going to breathe in. Keeping that back on the wall. One more. Up tall. Exhale those ribs down. Beautiful. Whew. Okay. So now we're going to come back down into kneeling. And we're going to work on that diagonal flexion that we were doing with on our backs, but we're also going to do that in kneeling. So we're going to be in tall kneeling. So right now my knees are bent, my my feet are on the ground. We could pop a ball in between our knees if that helps us feel a little bit more stabilized. But why I like tall kneeling is that sometimes when we're standing, right, the tendency is really to pull more this way. And so we have to work. It's easier than being on our back, but not as hard as standing up, to feel like we can bring our center of gravity back a little bit. So even if that means we have a little soft bend here, or if we're having a hard time getting into that tall kneeling position, you could absolutely kind of sit down onto your ball or onto your bolster and do the same thing in this sort of kneeling position, or in a chair or on a bench, something like that. So the movement is going to be the same. I'm going to come up into tall kneeling. We're going to reach left hand towards our knees, and then our right hand is on our band. So from here, we're going, see how my shoulder has dropped down? From here, we're then going to take that arm up on a diagonal, and we're going to feel the muscles of the back of that right shoulder blade. But more important than feeling the muscles of the back of that right shoulder blade, we're going to feel air expand into this right chest. Then exhale, reaching that left hand down. Maybe we feel our right tricep working a little bit. Maybe we feel our shoulder blade muscles. 2 more breaths, but mostly we want to feel air into that right chest. Good. And then taking a little break. Another option here is that you could bring that one knee forward if you're having a hard time controlling that with both knees down. So I'll show that for the next set. Left hand is reaching to the ground. We're feeling these left ribs drop down. We're connecting our left hip to our left rib cage. And then we're going to anchor it down on the left, come up on the right. From the side here, see how we're not here, we're here. That's hard work for those shoulder blade muscles. It's important work for those shoulder blade muscles. Good. And then take a little break. Whew. And so what we want to feel when we're doing that, right, is not like these muscles are doing that work, but we can really feel how when we come up that diagonal and we breathe into our chest, is that the lower fibers of that trap, the other scap shoulder blade muscles, allow us to then get this nice reach and this nice overhead motion with the arms without pinging that rib cage forward, right? So we think of all the times throughout the day we have to reach up overhead, and if we struggle to keep that rib cage down, maybe our range of motion where we can comfortably do that is only here. So all working on these shoulder blade muscles that help us start to feel more comfortable creating pressure over our head is going to be really, or help us distribute pressure when our arms are over our head. It's going to be really, really helpful for our pelvic floors. Okay, last series that we're going to do is going to be with our triceps. We can do these with our triceps with our band. Let's do it with our band. So you could be standing, you could be kneeling. Let's go into kneeling. Yeah, let's kneel. So what we're going to do, we're going to work lefty a little bit. I think lefty's been feeling a little left out this class. So we're going to anchor in our right hand. Elbow is pinned into our sides. And with our left tricep, we're going to think about extending that tricep. Again, thinking about keeping that pelvis under us as we blow out. And we're going to control it halfway and then back down. Inhale. Good. Oh, I let go all the way. Trying not to let that tension completely off. Good. Good. And then let's switch sides. The left side is anchored in. We're going to get our pelvis under us. You could be also in tall kneeling or in standing. Good. Good. Nice job. Take a little break. And then let's do, yeah, good. Let's do one more round on the other side. Again, so we'll do 8, do the 8, about 8. Noticing maybe what tricep is easier or harder to find. Been doing a bunch of right triceps, so my right one felt like it was working. I have to think right now a little bit more about finding that left tricep. If you're having a hard time feeling your tricep work, you could keep that band straight and breathe and hold for a few breaths until you start to feel it kind of kick on. Good. Oops. Hopefully it's not too loud, but the fan just turned on. Okay. I said that was our last one, but I lied. We're going to do one more thing as our cool down to finish up. We are going to grab our a little chair or a bench or something, and we're going to sit down on that chair. Our hands are going to come to the edge of the chair, and our feet are going to come out in front of us. This is triceps, this is hamstrings, this is abdominals, this is neck, this is all of the things. So it's a really nice little cool down. So we're going to pull with our heels and scoop off the end of the chair. So we're using our heels to kind of help us come under, and then we're bending those elbows, keeping our head up nice and tall. And we're going to do 4 good breaths here. Good. So then coming back, taking a little break, and we'll do one more of those, and then we'll be all set. Dig those heels down, scoop that tailbone under, pull with those hamstrings, soften those elbows. Good. Beautiful. Awesome. Make sure you check in with your pelvic floor, maybe in your favorite inhibition position. But otherwise, have a fantastic day. Hopefully arms feel worked, but not exhausted, and that you're getting some nice airflow. Bye-bye.